Hello everyone. Sexual desire is the desire for having sex, and this desire is a thought. A person's thoughts are shaped by the memories they have lived with since birth. Thoughts are never uniform, and they are unique to you, made up of your own memories. This is why the criteria for a need is never absolute. Other people may think that you have enough, but you may feel that you don't have it and you want more of it. Sexual desire is driven by a perceived lack or absence, and excess sexual desire indicates that you have a problem with the operation of your sexuality. The way men and women experience sexual problems is a little different. For women, they have wounds in my mind, but they don't develop wounds in this mind. Women's sexual problems they recognize in the conscious are actually problems they occur in their my mind related with wounds in my mind. So when women have wounds in my mind, they may develop sexual desire. The size of women's sexual desire varies depending on the size of their wounds in my mind, and women's sexual desire is manifested as simply wanting comfort and attention, or as wanting to have sex as a means of consolation. Men, on the other hand, experience zest wounds in their zest mind, and they don't develop wounds in their my mind. Since the workings of zest mind are not directly recognized in the conscious like the workings of my mind, and because the workings of zest mind are only transmitted to the unconscious, men may have very strong sexual desires that they cannot explain. If a man is directly and consciously aware of a sexual problem, such as sexual dysfunction, his sexual drive becomes extremely strong. When sexual dysfunction occurs in man, the basic foundation for sexual achievement, which men consider to be so important, is broken. So they become very nervous and stressed, not only during having sex, but also in everyday life and work. As a result, their sexual desire becomes stronger in order to recover, and as their sexual desire becomes stronger, they gradually perceive most of what they perceive in their daily lives as sexual information, which leads to a vicious cycle of growing zest wounds and developing even more serious sexual dysfunction. Especially when they deliberately acquire all kinds of knowledge on sex in order to cure their sexual dysfunction, the more they learn, the worse their sexual performance becomes. It's like drinking salt water when you are thirsty, and the more you drink, the thirstier you become. There is one distinction that needs to be made here. A common misconception is that young men have a strong passion for sex, but technically this is not sexual desire. It's literally about being very healthy and full of enthusiasm in both body and mind. It's about having a very strong sense of pleasure from pursuing something, and sex is the most powerful means of pleasure that can utilize all of your senses. So it can be felt as having strong sexual desire. In fact, men tend to have stronger sexual desire as they get older and as they become more sexually experienced. This mechanism explains the phenomenon of older men being more prone to sexual transgressions. Sexual desire is a form of energy that seeks to feel a need for something that isn't there, which can be good or bad depending on how you harness it. Your sexual desire can be seen as an activation of energy in your mind to fulfill or achieve something. So if you use it for work, for example, you may be able to make a great achievement in your field. As I have mentioned earlier, desires are thoughts, and you can change what you focus on by changing your thoughts. To be able to do so, rather than debating the good or bad of sexual desire, it's important to clearly understand the mechanism by which sexual desire arises and develops further, and to avoid having a distorted notion of sexuality to ensure that they are not harmful to ourselves and others, and that they can be used to pursue happiness with a healthy mind and body.